I'm going to run through the installation of the ALATO tool. First step, we just need to check whether the database is configured correctly. Does it actually include an installation of Apex? That's good. So just select comp ID and version from DBA registry, and there's Apex release 503. I also need to confirm that my database listener is configured to accept HTTP, so select dbmsxdbconfig, .get HTTP port from Dual, and yes, I'm listening for HTTP on port 8080. And the final check, has the listener accepted that registration? And yes, there it is, for HTTPS and also for my non-encrypted HTTP traffic. The second step is to configure my operating system user. So SU to the root account, add my user. I'll call him SBA and put him in groups DBA and oinstall to make sure that the Oracle account can read and write that home directory, change the group ownership to DBA and permissions to 770. Set his password and switch into the Unix account. I've already uploaded the software, so unzip it into my home directory. And the final step at the operating system level is to run a shell script that will create some directories and set permissions appropriately. Now I need to create the schema within the database. I'll source the Aura env file to make sure I'm connected to the correct database. Log on with sysdba privileges and run the supplied script to create the schema and the packages within it. I'm going to call my user SBA, password, then I get one or two prompts. Am I going to configure automatic storage management? In this case, I'm not going to. So I'll hit return to get through that. And that's all completed. The fourth step is a bit of Apex administration. I'll log on to the internal workspace as my admin user. And I need to create a workspace. I'll call the workspace SBA. And associate it with the schema created in the previous step. The administration user for this account will need a password. So let's let Apex get on with it. And that's it, workspace created. Having created the workspace, I need to import the application. So I'll log out of the internal workspace and log into my newly created SBA workspace. Application Builder and Import, and choose the file I'm going to import. We've got a choice here. I can import the Apex 5 Universal Theme version or the old-fashioned Apex 4 version. I, of course, am going to choose Apex 5 Universal Theme. Next. I can choose whether or not to reuse the application ID of 1000. That isn't in use in this new installation, so I'll stay with that. And that's got the application installed. The first time I run the application, I'm going to get a few prompts for configuration. So we'll do that next. The first time we run it, we get thrown into a configuration routine. This just shows that the operating system is configured correctly. We have to tell ALATO the license key, which is tied to your DBA. And then some identifiers will be displayed on the screen and used in emails that it generates. And we also need to change the sysadmin password away from default. ALATO needs to know how to log on to the operating system. We'll use the operating system account we created earlier and provide its password. And then there are some settings for directories it's going to use. These defaults will be okay if you ran the shell script earlier without editing it. ALATO also needs to log on to the database, so we tell it the listening port and the logon details for the schema created earlier in the process. If I were to change this to yes, I would get prompted for the settings to connect to the ASM instance. But in this particular case, I'm not going to use ASM, so we'll leave that on default of no. And that's it. The tool is now installed and ready for use.